So just today, the Supreme Court allowed Texas to enforce its controversial voter ID law. The news comes literally days before the start of early voting. So we're joined this morning by political consultant Dallas Jones with details of what this latest ruling means for you if you are going to vote in this election. And there's been a lot of back and forth in the courts over this one.
Absolutely. A couple of weeks ago, a lower court ruled the Texas law unconstitutional. Of course, there was an appeal. The Fifth Circuit said that the law could be enforced. It made it to the Supreme Court, and this morning there was a ruling that stated the law could be upheld during the upcoming election. Now, today's ruling does not rule on whether or not the law is constitutional or not. What the court is addressing is changing the rules of an election so close to that actual election, which could have a dire effect.
And this is going to affect voters going to the polls, you think? I mean, is the back and forth, does it confuse people? Does it discourage them? What do you think this will do with turnout?
Well, absolutely. I think it does, and it does discourage people, and it certainly confuses them about whether or not they have to take that identification. What the Justice Department has argued is that 600,000 Texans, majority African American and Latino, do not have any type of photo identification. And so they believe that to enforce the law during this election would have an effect on disenfranchising eligible voters.
So let's talk nuts and bolts. What do people need to bring to the polls? We're talking about this. You got your registration card, but what else?
Well, as of this morning, you need to bring your ID.
Yes. What IDs qualify?
So you can bring a Texas driver's license, identification card, a concealed handgun license, a passport. You can bring, if you don't have any of those pieces of identification, you can actually apply for an election certificate, which has a photo during at the DPS. Now, what's interesting is you cannot use a college ID for the college students. So you'll have to have a state-issued form of identification.
And early voting starting this week, yes?
Early voting starts on the 20th. It will go through October 31st. Through the 20th and 24th, you can vote early at any early voting location in the county. And the hours during that time will be, 8 to 4:40 on the first week, and then you have a break over the weekend, 1 to 6, and then 7 to 7.
Okay, so that's 7 to 7 on the day of. And just real quickly, I know we have the governor's race. What else can people expect to see on the ballot?
Well, you can see the governor's race, the lieutenant governor's race. These are the hot issues. Of course, we have a local race for district attorney. And, of course, Proposition 1, which deals with our state's infrastructure and highways and creating more money to improve those.
All right, so educate yourself before you go. If not, you'll be there for a long time looking over the ballot.
Absolutely.
Dallas Jones, thank you so much for coming in today. And we have everything you need to know about Election Day on our website, abc13.com. You can get the latest political headlines via our mobile app as well as a free download.